Hello Guardians, welcome to another weapon review by Vortex 57. This is for the week of May 2nd, 2017. So let's go ahead and get started with the Vanguard.
It is my pleasure to help.
And we have the Continental Auto Rifle to start out. Scopes are the Red Dot ORA, the Sure Shot IS, and the OEG. For perks, we have the Spray and Play, Eye of the Storm, Small Bore, Rifle Barrel, and Glass Half Full. This is an okay roll this week. It's very middle of the road. There's nothing stand out with this gun at all. It's got Spray and Play and Glass Half Full. It's not too bad. They synergize all right. I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B. Don't pick this up unless you really want this gun in particular. Next, we have the Parthian Shot. For scopes this week, we have the MD Reflex, the Steady Hand IS, the OEG Rifle Scope, and for perks, we have Rodeo, Feeding Frenzy, Hand-Laid Stock, Lightweight, and Counterbalance. This is a fairly good roll this week. It's got Counterbalance to keep it very, very straight up and down with its recoil, and Hand-Laid Stock to further reduce the recoil on the gun, so you're going to have laser-like experience shooting this gun. And heck, you could even run Rodeo if you wanted to for basically maximum stability. I would run Feeding Frenzy. I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of A for this week. It's not the best it could possibly be. Counterbalance isn't quite necessary on this gun, and there could be better scopes. But if you're looking for a gun in this archetype, this is not a bad place to start. Next, we have the gun Angel's Advocate, Scout Rifle. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, Range Lens RLS-3, and the Reflex. For perks, we have Rodeo, Mulligan, Hand-Laid Stock, Explosive Rounds, and Hidden Hand. This is an okay roll on this gun this week. It's not great. There's nothing really stand out on this gun, but it does have Hidden Hand, Explosive Rounds, and Hand-Laid Stock. So you can run a very high stability build on this gun, and it's going to have a nice shooting experience thanks to Hidden Hand. Or you can run Explosive Rounds and cause your opponents in PvP to have some very interesting flashes on their screen, so it could make for some fun here and there, but overall it's very middle of the road. I'm going to give it a rank of B for this week. Next, we have the gun How Dare You, Hand Cannon. For scopes, we have the True Sight IS, the Fast Draw IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Triple Tap, Partial Refund, Small Bore, Lightweight, and Rangefinder. This is an alright roll for this gun, just like the others. It doesn't really have any strong range boosting perks, and although it does have True Sight, it's not quite as good as Sure Shot. It's very close, but not quite as good. And it doesn't have any particular standout perks on this column here. Triple Tap isn't bad. It can be good in boss damage or something else. And it's not too bad in PvP, since you're not doing as much damage. You're going to require more shots. But overall, I'd probably pass on this gun unless you really, really want this gun in its archetype. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a rank of B for this week. Next, we have the Fusion Rifle X Astris. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, the Red Dot ORA-2, and the OEG. For perks, we have Spray and Play, Replenish, Braced Frame, Enhanced Battery, and Eye of the Storm. This gun has got some alright perks on it. Spray and Play is never going to hurt anything, especially when coupled with Brace Frame that increases your stability but reduces your magazine size. So you're going to be proccing that Spray and Play more and more, and it helps mitigate the penalty induced by Brace Frame for this particular gun. And Eye of the Storm is good, but it is situational and isn't necessarily reliable in all situations. So I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B, and pick it up if you particularly like this type of gun archetype. Next, we have the Teacup Tempest Sidearm. For scopes, we have the Steady Hand IS, the Fast Draw IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Mulligan, Army of One, Hand Loaded, Casket Mag, and Hidden Hand. This gun doesn't have anything particularly stand out this week, although it does have Army of One and Hidden Hand, so that's going to help improve your shooting experience, and it's going to give you a bit more bonus energy on your melees and grenades when you make unassisted kills with this gun. So situationally, it can actually be quite good, but those situations are going to be kind of hard to find yourself in, especially in PvP, getting the unassisted kills with this gun. So I'm going to give it a rank of B this week. Pick it up if you particularly like this type of archetype, but I think there's better roles out there you can look for. Next, we have the shotgun Occam's Razor. For ballistics, we have Smart Drift Control, CQB Ballistics, and Aggressive Ballistics. For perks, we have Replenish, Life Support, Small Bore, Quick Draw, and Rangefinder. This gun for this week really has nothing good on it. Rangefinder, while it does increase the effective range of this gun, isn't really suited for a gun like this because this is very PvE oriented and very close range to begin with because its impact is so low. So while Rangefinder is nice, it's not going to help it benefit from anything else on the gun. There's no crowd control, there's no full auto, there's nothing else to really make this gun stand out. So I'm going to give this gun a rank of C for this week, and even if you like this archetype, I would pass on it. Next, we have the Sniper Rifle 7th Sense. For scopes, we have the Wild Hawk SLS-20, the Long View SLR-10, and the Ambush SLH-25. For perks, we have Army of One, Spray and Play, Quick Draw, Snapshot, and Unflinching. This sniper rifle, for its archetype, probably has about every type of perk you would want going for it. It's got Unflinching, which sniper rifles in PvP right now have a lot of flinch, so Unflinching is very, very good. Quick Draw and Snapshot synergize very well with this very quick-firing, very reactionary type of sniper rifle. And Army of One and Spray and Play are both very good for PvP. Spray and Play is going to make your shooting experiences much better as you try and string shots together. And of course, Army of One, since on a sniper rifle, you're hopefully getting headshot kills, which are going to be one shot, one kill. You're going to be proccing that a lot. So this gun, I'm going to give rank of S, mainly due to the fact that it has an ambush sight along with the other very, very good perks on this gun. Even if you don't necessarily like this archetype, this is a very good example of what it can be. So if you've been wanting to try it, or if you very much like this archetype, go ahead and pick it up this week. Next, we have the Machine Gun Bone Crusher. For ballistics, we have Aggressive Ballistics, Smart Drift Control, and Soft Ballistics. For perks, we have Life Support, Hip Fire, Hand-Laid Stock, Armor Piercing Rounds, and Persistence. Now this gun has got a very, very unique type of build to it in that it can get a very, very high amount of stability applied to the gun between Smart Drift Control and Hand-Laid Stock. And of course, Persistence is going to help with that as well. That being said, it really doesn't have any other good damage boosting perks or hidden hand or anything else, since it doesn't need that much stability because it's such a low firing rate gun to really take advantage of its better stability. So I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B for this week. If you really, really like the Bone Crusher and you don't have a good roll on it, this is not a bad place to start, but otherwise I would pass on this gun. Next, we have the Rocket Launcher Disassembly Required. For our launches, we have Warhead Veneers, Soft Launch, and Hard Launch. For perks, we have Grenadier, Life Support, Perfect Balance, Javelin, and Cluster Bomb. Now this gun has got a lot going for it. It's not a perfect roll, but it's very, very close. We have Cluster Bombs, which is very good in PvE, and not too bad in PvP in certain situations. We have Javelin to really help up the velocity on this gun. And we have Grenadier to really take advantage of the blast radius and the cluster bombs. This is really going to help in PvE on mobs or just big groups of enemies that are close together. If you kill a lot of them at once, you're going to get your grenade back very, very quickly. And of course, Soft Launch is going to get you even more velocity out of this gun. I'm going to give this gun a rank of A for this week. If you're looking for a particularly good arc rocket launcher, this is not a bad place to start. I'd go ahead and pick it up. Now we found ourselves the Crucible Quartermaster, so let's take a look at what he has this week.
Yes?
To start with, we have the Auto Rifle 0-Day Dilemma. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, the Sure Shot IS, and the OEG Rifle Scope. For perks, we have Spray and Play, Close and or Personal, Small Bore, Appended Magazine, and Persistence. Now, for this week, this gun has some good perks that are really going to help it be a nice shooting experience, but it's really not going to help it rise above mediocrity. We have Persistence to make your stability increase a little bit over time. We have Spray and Play to help reload your gun even faster once your magazine is empty. And of course, Sure Shot IS for a very nice shooting experience, high target acquisition, and just a good scope overall. And Small Bore gives you good range stability, and coupled with Spray and Play is going to synergize nicely. That being said, there's nothing like crowd control or hidden hand perhaps to really help this gun rise above. So I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B for this week. Pick it up if you like this particular type of archetype and this gun. Otherwise, I would refrain. Next, we have the Pulse Rifle B29 Party Favor. For scopes this week, we have the Red Dot ORA2, the Quick Draw IS, and the OEG. For perks, we have Eye of the Storm, Feeding Frenzy, Small Bore, Lightweight, and Third Eye. This gun's got a couple good perks going for it, but nothing that I would consider to be particularly good for this type of gun, or this gun in particular. We do have Third Eye, which allows you to still see your radar when you're aiming down sights. If you're not running Memory of Galleon, this is a good way to still get that effect. We have Eye of the Storm and Feeding Frenzy. Feeding Frenzy is fairly reliable. Eye of the Storm, while good, is not necessarily reliable to proc, but when it is the right conditions, it will proc reliably. And Small Bore, although it does increase your range of stability, comes with the cost of your reload and magazine. And since we don't have a way to counteract that, it's okay, but you're really going to feel that lower magazine and slower reload. So I'm going to give this gun a rank of B this week. I'd probably refrain from picking it up unless you particularly like this gun or this archetype. Next, we have the Scout Rifle, the Hero Formula. For scopes this week, we have the MD Reflex, the Focus Lens FLA5, and the OEG Rifle Scope. For perks, we have Rodeo, Take a Knee, Hand Laid Stock, Armor Piercing Rounds, and Hidden Hand. This gun's got a couple good perks going for it, but overall it's very mediocre this week. We have Hidden Hand and Hand Laid Stock, which is going to make for a very nice shooting experience on this gun, and the MD Reflex scope is not too bad either. But there's no other scope really to help you with anything in particular on this gun. There's no crowd control or something in this column. This column here is particularly weak, but you do have 19 in the bag, which also helps out with this gun. I'm going to give it a rank of B, although it is kind of in between B and A for me in this particular case. I'd probably refrain from picking it up unless you're looking for this archetype of gun and you don't have it already. It's not a bad place to start, but you could have something better, and I'll continue to look out for something better in the future. Next, we have the hand cannon, the Palindrome. For sights, we have the TrueSat IS, the Fast Draw IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Mulligan, Icarus, Rifled Barrel, Explosive Rounds, and Rangefinder. Now, this isn't an absolutely perfect roll on this gun, but it is a very, very good roll on this gun. We have Rangefinder plus Rifled Barrel to really up the range on this gun and nearly max it out, if not completely max it out on this gun. We also have Explosive Rounds, which is very good in PvE and not bad in PvP either. And Mulligan and Icarus, while they're good, are a bit more situational than other perks that you might be able to get in this column. That could be better. And also, the TrueSat IS, while still very good, isn't quite as good, in my opinion, as the SureShot IS. So I'm going to give this gun a rank of A, and not quite an S for this week, although very, very close. So if you don't have this gun, or you're looking for a good hand cannon, this is a very good place to start. I'd go ahead and pick it up. Next, we have the Fusion Rifle, Each New Day. For scopes, we have the Reflex Sight, the Red Dot ORA2, and the OEG. For perks, we have Unflinching, Life Support, Braced Frame, Rifled Barrel, and Hot Swap. This gun only has a couple perks that are really helping it out here this week. Nothing particularly stand out. Hot Swap is good, but it's not as good as, say, Rangefinder or something else in this column. That's what I would think for this gun. Somebody else might disagree with me. Hot Swap is good, though, but it only lasts for 5 seconds. If you know it's on your gun and you plan accordingly, it can be quite helpful, though. And Brace Frame is good. It does increase your stability, and you already have 6 in the mag on this gun, so reducing it down isn't that big of a penalty. Or if you want the extra range, you can choose Rifled Barrel. The real letdown for me on this gun, though, is the middle column of perks. These are decent perks. There's nothing particularly wrong with them, but there's nothing really stand out here on this gun. I'm going to give it a rank of B for this week. I would probably not recommend picking this up unless you want this gun in particular for some reason. Next, we have the shotgun 44 Curtain Call. For ballistics, we have Smart Drift Control, Field Choke, and Aggressive Ballistics. For perks, we have Performance Bonus, Knee Pads, Reinforced Barrel, Quick Draw, and Crowd Control. Now, for this gun, it's actually got a decent amount going for it, and it's not bad, and it really isn't too bad. It's just that it's not quite as good as something you might expect or want from a gun, especially a shotgun. We do have crowd control, which is good in PvP, but it doesn't last that long, so it's hard to take advantage of in PvP as much as it is in PvE. This is a better PvE perk. Along with that, we also have performance bonus, so you're going to be getting some bonus reserve ammo every now and then. And this only procs on kills, so if you don't get a kill with this in PvP, you're not going to be obviously proccing this perk as much. In PvE, however, you're going to be getting more kills, especially in mobs, so it's going to be a more reliable perk for that. Knee pads, however, is very good in PvP if that's what your particular shtick is in PvP, and we do have quick draw, which will help with that, and reinforced barrel to increase your range, which is never going to hurt anything. And we do have field choke to increase your range just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B, just because I don't think it's quite an A, but it is very, very close. If you're looking for a good arc shotgun for PvE, though, this is not a bad one to start with. Next, we have the sidearm Anton's Rule. For sights, we have the Steady Hand IS, the Sure Shot IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Zen Moment, Feeding Frenzy, Fitted Stock, Casket Mag, and Rangefinder. Now this gun has a lot of good perks going for it. It has Rangefinder to increase the effective range of this gun, Fitted Stock to give you just a little bit more stability, Zen Moment to give you even more stability on your gun, or Feeding Frenzy to increase your reload speed, and then the Sure Shot IS, which is about the best scope, or actually it's the best sight in this game, in my opinion, for hand cannons and sidearms. So this gun, if you're looking for this archetype of sidearm, then this is about as good of a roll as I think you can get on a sidearm. There might be a couple different rolls that you might want to look for if you wanted more range, perhaps, but if you're looking for a stability-based roll with a little extra range from Rangefinder, you could go with Hidden Hand here, I suppose, but that's more of a difference of opinion. I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of S for this week. If you're looking for this archetype, go ahead and pick this one up. Next, we have the Sniper Rifle Event Horizon. For scopes, we have the Wild Hawk SLS-20, the Short Gaze SLH-10, and the Taxus SLS-15. For perks, we have Underdog, Spray and Play, Explosive Rounds, Perfect Balance, and Hidden Hand. This is a very good roll for this gun this week. It's not quite perfect, in my opinion, but I think it's going to do you a lot of good if this is what you're looking for, especially in PvP. We have Hidden Hand to start, which is going to help this gun even more. We have Short Gaze, which is an excellent scope to look for in sniper rifles, especially for PvP, but also PvE. We have Explosive Rounds, which are going to be a little bit more helpful in PvE than PvP. Perfect Balance, though, to help you chain shots in PvP, if that's what you're looking for. And Spray and Play, which is going to really help offset the fact this only has 3 in the mag. The only thing that's really keeping me from giving this an S rank, to be honest, is unflinching, because in PvP right now, sniper rifles just suffer so much from flinch that unflinching just, it's not required, but man, it really, really helps. That being said, though, this is a very, very good shooting experience on this gun. It's a very good roll. If you're looking for this sniper rifle, you're looking for this archetype, this is a very good example of it. I'm going to give it a rank of A for this week, so go ahead and pick it up. Next, we have the Machine Gun Chaotic Neutral. For ballistics, we have Aggressive Ballistics, Smart Drift Control, and Field Choke. For perks, we have Eye of the Storm, Hip Fire, Perfect Balance, Armor Piercing Rounds, and Persistence. Now, there's nothing really stand out on this gun, but it will give you a nice shooting experience due to the persistence, perfect balance, and smart drift control on this gun. You're going to get a lot of bonus stability on it, without too much of a penalty, to be honest. You're going to lose a little bit of impact, but this is such a high impact LMG already that I wouldn't worry about that too much, unless you're really trying to min-max in PvP. This column is okay. Eye of the Storm, while not terrible, is hopefully a perk that you're never trying to proc. So, you know, it's something to be considered, but it will help you in those tight situations. And Hipfire, on LMGs, I just wouldn't recommend trying to Hipfire him. So there you go. It's not a bad roll this week, especially in the stability area of it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a rank of B, and I really wouldn't pick it up unless you're trying to look for a very high stability gun of this archetype. Next, we have the rocket launcher, Something Wicked. For our launches, we have Confined Launch, Soft Launch, and Countermass. For our perks, we have Battle Runner, Life Support, Quick Draw, Heavy Payload, and Tracking. This gun has got a lot going for it. It's not quite perfect in my opinion, but it is close. We have Tracking, which between Tracking and Grenades and Horseshoes, I would say are must-have perks on rocket launchers, or you could look for Cluster Bombs, which is good for PvE, but if you're looking for a more well-rounded rocket launcher, Tracking or Grenades and Horseshoes is going to be what you're looking for, so that's a good start. We have Heavy Payload to completely max out that blast radius on this gun. Quick Draw, it's not bad, but I'd probably go ahead and run a Heavy Payload. Battle Runner is a good perk, especially on rocket launchers, and Life Support is okay. It's never going to hurt you, but it's hopefully something that you're really not going to try and proc too much, and you're not going to have your rocket launcher that much in PvP anyways, so I wouldn't really bank on it saving you in certain firefights that much. We do have Soft Launch to really help you get some more velocity out of this gun. It's going to help you in PvP quite a bit and in PvE. So it's got a lot going for it, especially between Heavy Payload, Soft Launch, and Tracking. I go ahead and pick it up if you're looking for a rocket launcher kind of like this. It's definitely not going to steer you wrong. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a rank of A for this week. Now we found ourselves at Dead Orbit. Let's take a look at what they have this week.
What do you need from us?
To start with, we have the Auto Rifle Extremophile 011. For scopes, we have the Reflex, the Quick Draw IS, and the OEG Rifle Scope. For perks, we have High Caliber Rounds, Lightweight, Hammer Forged, Hot Swap, and Glass Half Full. Now this gun has already got a good base amount of stability, aim assist, and everything. It's really not bad. So it doesn't necessarily need stability boosting perks, but they do tend to help a lot. And the magazine on this one is 37, which is not bad to look at either. We don't really have a standout scope over here, which I think is the main problem with this gun. Sure Shot, of course, is the best. And other ones wouldn't be too bad either. The Reflex MD being a notable option. And we do have Glass Half Full and High Caliber Rounds and Hammer Forge. So this is going to do some serious work in PvP and PvE, but it's not necessarily the best example in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of B, although it is fairly close to the A. It's pretty close, but I think it's just in the B category for this gun. So go ahead and pick it up if you're particularly looking for an Extremophile or a gun of this archetype. Next, we have the Scout Rifle Keystone 01. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, the Focus Lens FLA5, and the OEG. For perks, we have Explosive Rounds, Lightweight, Small Bore, Outlaw, and Hidden Hand. This gun's got a lot of good stuff going for it. It's got Hidden Hand to really help with your shooting experience, Outlaw to give you that nice snappy reload. That's going to proc a lot on a gun like this. Explosive Rounds is going to help you a lot in PvE. It'll do you some good in PvP as well, but especially PvE. And we've got the Focus Lens FLA5 and the MD Reflexes. Decent scopes, while not the best. They are fairly good, especially for this gun. If you're looking for a gun of this archetype, this nice high-impact Scout Rifle, this is not a bad example of it at all. I'd go ahead and pick it up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a rank of A. Next, we have the Fusion Rifle Worlds to Come 001. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, the Red Dot ORA, and the OEG. For perks, we have Enhanced Battery, Lightweight, Small Bore, Spray and Play, and Eye of the Storm. Now this gun, It's got some okay stuff going for it. It's probably not the best example you're ever going to see of this gun. But we do have spray and play, which of course is going to give you a nice snappy reload, but we've already got 5 in the magazine, so you're probably not going to be proccing this a lot unless you're really thinking about it. Especially because we have enhanced battery here, which is going to be increasing your magazine size unless you want to run lightweight. And small bore, while not bad, does reduce your reload speed and your magazine size. And you can't really synergize it with spray and play because you got to choose one or the other. So I'm going to give this gun a rank of B, although it's closer almost to the C side of ranks. So unless you're really looking for this gun, really want this archetype, I'm probably going to recommend you pass for this week. Next we have the shotgun Last Ditch 001. For ballistics, we have linear compensator, accurized ballistics, and soft ballistics. For perks, we have flared magwell, snapshot, perfect balance, cascade, and crowd control. Honestly, this gun doesn't have a whole lot going for it this week. This is that max impact archetype of shotgun, so it's really going to benefit from a max range stat on it, and it doesn't have any range boosting perks on it at all. It does have crowd control, and perfect balance isn't bad, cascade's not bad, and these 2 perks aren't bad either, so it's okay. You know, if you're looking for a void shotgun for Praetorians or something, it's not too bad, but I think you're going to find better if you look hard enough, or if you just wait and get something else to drop. Crowd control is really the only saving grace on this perk, and it's going to bring it up to a B, but it's not a very high B. It's closer to the C range, so pick it up if you're really looking for something like this, but otherwise I just pass on it. Next we have the sniper rifle Bitter Edge 010. For scopes, we have the Sightsys SLS-20, the Short Gaze SLH-10, and the Taxus SLS-15. For perks, we have armor-piercing rounds, snapshot, hammer forged, triple tap, and hidden hand. This gun, especially compared with the Vanguard sniper rifle this week, is okay. We do have hidden hand. It's going to give you a little bit better shooting experience, but the aim assist on this gun is already a little higher than most other sniper rifles because of its archetype. We have triple tap, which, while good, isn't going to proc that much in PvP, and it's really not going to help you that much in PvE, because if you're using this to damage bosses, you're using a low-impact sniper rifle, which is not well-suited for that task. You do have Hammer Forge, could extend your range a bit, but it's already got a fairly high range stat. It's really not necessary. So the 2 saving graces for this gun are Hidden Hand and the Short Gaze. It's going to make for a very nice shooting experience, but there's nothing really to take advantage of that nice shooting experience with. So I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of C, actually, for this week. I just would not recommend picking it up. Next, we have the rocket launcher Unto Dust 00. For launches, we have Confined Launch, Smart Drift Control, and Hard Launch. For perks, we have Field Scout, Snapshot, Javelin, Battle Runner, and Tracking. Now, this gun is kind of an interesting quandary for most people. It's a good roll on this gun, but this particular rocket launcher just isn't that great of an archetype. So, hey, if it's for you, then great. But we do have Tracking, Javelin, Field Scout, and what was it? There it is, Hard Launch. So you're getting a good boost of velocity, a little boost of blast radius on this gun, and you have tracking with it. It's not a bad gun overall. It's not a bad roll. I'm going to put it in A. It's a little bit of a lower A. It's not, the best roll ever, but I think it's a good, solid gun for what you're looking for. You just got to keep in mind blast radius on this gun is a little lower. This is more of a PvP-oriented type of rocket launcher than a PvE type of rocket launcher. So this is what you're looking for. I'd go ahead and pick it up this week. Now we've found ourselves at the Future War Cult. Let's see what they have this week.
Prepare, Guardian.
To start with, we have the hand cannon, the Whale. For sights, we have the True Sight IS, the Fast Draw IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Explosive Rounds, Quick Draw, Perfect Balance, Hot Swap, and Firefly. Now I'm kind of going to give you 2 rankings for this gun this week. If we're talking about PvP, I'm going to give it a B rank. So there's really no Range boosting perk, there's nothing to really help this gun excel at being the archetype that it is. It does have explosive rounds though, hot swap and firefly, which you'll take advantage of every once in a while. And it has true sight IS on it, so it's got a nice good scope to start with. Not as good as Sure Shot, but still very, very good. For PvE this week though, I'm going to give it an A. Because it does have the Firefly, explosive rounds, perfect balance, hot swap. These are very good perks for PvE. It's not necessarily an S roll. That would be basically a Fate Ringer roll with a range boosting perk, but it is solid. You're going to have some serious fun with it in PvE if you want to take it up. So overall, I think I'm going to give it a low A. That's the final rating for this gun. Just keep in mind what you're going to use it for. PvE, good gun. PvP, I think there's better out there you could look for, especially the Palindrome this week. Next, we have the pulse rifle, the Waltz. For scopes, we have the MD Reflex, the Sure Shot IS, and the OAG rifle scope. For perks, we have the Flared Magwell, Snapshot, Perfect Balance, Eye of the Storm, and Glass Half Full. This gun is a pretty solid roll in this gun. It's got Sure Shot IS, so very good scope to start with. It's got Perfect Balance, so it can give you a little bit more stability, and Glass Half Full to give you a bit of extra damage as you get towards the bottom half of your magazine. That being said, this particular type of archetype of pulse rifle really benefits well from very, very high stability. And Perfect Balance, while good, in my opinion, isn't quite enough to excel it into the S-class tier of weapon. Additionally, there's really no good perks on this column here to take advantage of a potentially high stability or the glass half full to really help you shoot well. So I'm going to give it an A rank. It is a lower A rank for this gun. If you're looking for this archetype, it's not a bad place to start. Next, we have the fusion rifle, the Waiting. For scopes, we have the Reflex Sight, the Red Dot ORA2, and the OAG. For perks, we have Accelerated Coils, Snapshot, Perfect Balance, Knee Pads, and Rangefinder. This gun has a pretty good roll overall. Has Rangefinder to help boost the range on this gun, which it will benefit well from. Perfect Balance to help control your spread, and Accelerated Coils. Not everyone likes Accelerated Coils, but I do, simply because then I can have 2 fusion rifles, basically for the price of 1. And there's really nothing else on this column to contend with it. So if you're looking for a fusion rifle of solar type, this is not a bad one to start with. I'm going to give it an A. It is a lower A, but I still think it deserves it. Go ahead and pick it up if this is what you're looking for. Next we have the Scout Rifle, the Wounded. For scopes, we have the Red Dot ORA2, the Ranged Lens RLR5, and the Reflex. For perks, we have High Caliber Rounds, Snapshot, Small Bore, Third Eye, and Zen Moment. The roll on this one is okay this week. There's really nothing great, especially because this gun can roll with so many good perks. High Caliber Rounds and Zen Moment are okay, but it doesn't really have a good scope. It doesn't have any really good stability perks. Like Perfect Balance, I think, is actually a very good perk for this gun, because it doesn't need much stability, but a little bit really helps it excel. And I think if it had full auto or something else, and I'm not feeling this gun this week. I'm going to go ahead and give it a C. It's close to a B. It's not a terrible gun, but there's just so many better rolls out there, especially this archetype of gun, and it's competing with Vision of Confluence now. I'm probably just going to recommend you pass on it this week. Again, a rank of C. Next, we have the sidearm, the Wormwood. For sights, we have the Steady Hand IS, the Sure Shot IS, and the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have High Caliber Rounds, Quick Draw, Fitted Stock, Army of One, and Rangefinder. Oh boy, this gun. This is a very, very good roll of this gun. Rangefinder for a little extra range, Fitted Stock, High Caliber Rounds, and Sure Shot. So very, very solid range of perks here. I'm going to give this gun a very, very high A. Very high A. Man, maybe even an S. I'm going to give it a high A. I feel like for me personally, an S would have hidden hand here, but everyone's a little different what they want. It already has a high aim assist, especially thanks to Sure Shot, but this is one of those do or die moment weapons, in my opinion, right? If you're switching to your sidearm, then and you need that kill right then. So that hidden hand is going to just help you get that little extra surety that you're going to get that kill. But it's a very high A. If you're looking for good wormwood, this is a very good one to start with. Go ahead and pick it up this week. Next, we have the rocket launcher, the Warpath. For launches, we have aggressive launch, soft launch, countermass. For perks, we have flared magwell, snapshot, heavy payload, battle runner, and tracking. This is not a bad roll for this gun this week. There's a few things that I think that could be a little bit better, but we'll look at those. We have tracking, which is always very good on a rocket launcher, of course. Heavy payload, which is basically wasted on this gun because its blast radius is already maxed. Battle runner, which is fairly good. Flared magwell, and we have snapshot. So it's all right. You know, you can run soft launch, and then you can offset that with heavy payload. You don't even really need it that much, though, because it's really not going to help you that much. I'm going to give it about a middle-of-the-road A roll. It's a good example if you're looking for a solar rocket launcher with tracking. This is not a bad one to pick up at all. I would like to see Javelin here in this column. That would probably make it an S rank for me. But everyone's different, so go ahead and pick it up if that's what you're looking for. Again, an A rank. Now we found ourselves at the new Monarchy. Let's see what they have this week.
Long day. I know the feeling.
The Auto Rifle Assembly 2. For sights, we have the MD Reflex, the Quick Draw IS, the OEG, high caliber rounds, Quick Draw, Hammer Forged, Rodeo, and Rangefinder. This gun really doesn't have a whole lot going for it this week. Being the particular archetype that it does, it really needs a good stability boosting perk, and it doesn't have one. Also, this column, while it does have high caliber rounds, doesn't have anything that's really stand out. And I could probably use something better than Rangefinder, maybe Hidden Hand or something else. I'm going to go ahead and give this gun a rank of C this week and recommend that you do not pick it up. Next, we have the Hand Cannon Free Will 3. For scopes, we have the Steady Hand IS, Fast Draw IS, the Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Explosive Rounds, Quick Draw, Hammer Forged, Outlaw, and Reactive Reload. This gun does have some interesting perks on it. Nothing I'd say is fantastic, and it's not necessarily the best combination of the perks possible. It does need a range boosting perk, and Explosive Rounds is good. It'd be better to have Outlaw and Explosive Rounds actually switched in this gun to take full advantage of everything that's going on. It does have Reactive Reload, so it's going to have some good uses, mainly in PvE, not PvP. It could be fun to use, nice shooting experience. It doesn't have particularly good sight on it. So if you're looking for something and you think this one piques your interest, go ahead and pick it up. Otherwise, I'm going to recommend that you do not this week. I'm going to give it a rank of B just to be safe. Next, we have the Sidearm Impeacher 5. For sights, we have True Sight IS, Sure Shot IS, and Quick Draw IS. For perks, we have Armor Piercing Rounds, Hip Fire, Hand Loaded, Relentless Tracker, and Reactive Reload. Sorry, I got confused. I thought I said something I shouldn't have there. Interesting set of perks. Reactive Reload can be good if there's multiple enemies. It's got a very fast reload already, so it's going to take advantage of that Reactive Reload well. Hand Load will give you a little boost to range. Nothing crazy, but, you know, a little bit. This column, though, is kind of lacking, so not the best. And Sure Shot AS, which is a very good sight. I'm going to give it a rank of B. Mid B, maybe a little higher B. It's not necessarily the most reliable. There's better perks here at Rangefinder, Hidden Hand perhaps, but I think you could find yourself having a good time with this gun. Go ahead and pick it up if you're curious. Other than that, I probably would recommend I think it's the Crucible one this week. It's got a better roll. Next we have the shotgun, the Bad Counsel 4. For ballistics, we have Linear Compensator, Field Choke, and Soft Ballistics. For perks, we have Extended Mag, Quick Draw, Hammer Forged, Surrounded, and Crowd Control. This gun's okay this week. It's got some nice perks on it. Nothing that I would say is fantastic. It would really benefit well from a full auto on this gun. That would really put it up there as a good roll. But it does have Crowd Control, Hammer Forged, get a little boost to range, and Extended Mag to give you a couple more shots in your mag, or one actually. I'm not really sure how many it gives you. but there's no range boosting perk over here, and a Hammer Forge, while good, is not nearly as good as some other perks you could get. I'm going to give it a B, maybe slightly higher in the B spectrum, but not quite an A. If I have full auto and a better range boosting perk here, I think it would be an A, but it is a B. It's not a bad example of this gun, so if you're curious about it, it's going to be a good place to start, so go ahead and pick it up. Otherwise, I'd probably recommend that you do not this week. Next, we have the Sniper Rifle Deposition 7. Scopes, we have the Wild Hawk SLS-20, the Longview SLR-10, and the Eagle Eye SLR-20. For perks, we have Armor-Piercing Rounds, Quick Draw, Perfect Balance, Mulligan, and Take a Knee. This gun doesn't really have a whole lot going for it this week. No real good perks in the main area. Perfect Balance isn't bad, but it's only going to help you get your stability, but there's nothing else to help, or nothing else to take advantage of that increased stability at that point. We do have the Long View Scope, which isn't bad, but Short Gaze and Ambush, I think, are better in my opinion. I'm going to give this gun a rank of C this week, and I'd recommend you just pass on it. Next, we have the Machine Gun First Citizen 9. For ballistics, we have Aggressive Ballistics, Smart Drift Control, and Soft Ballistics. For perks, we have Armor-Piercing Rounds, Hipfire, Small Bore, Army of One, and Persistence. This gun this week is okay. It does have stability and range boosting perks, soft ballistics to help out with that, but at the cost of impact, so keep that in mind. And Small Bore, while good, reduces the magazine size in a gun like this. That's not necessarily something you want to do. This is that really fast firing rate type of LMG. And it does give you more range and stability, right? So you're going to be landing more shots, but it's going to penalize you more for each magazine. But you do have Army of One, which is good for mobs, which is kind of what this gun is designed for anyways. I think it could be okay. I'm going to give it a B. It's kind of a low B. It's closer to a C, honestly, but it's just above C, right into the B range. If you want to pick it up and try it out, it's not the worst example of this gun, but there's definitely better out there. Pick it up only if you're really, really wanting to look at this gun or very interested in it. Otherwise, I'd pass on it. Okay, well, I hope you found this weapon review helpful for this week. This has been Vortex57. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop a like. Otherwise, just pass on by. I'll catch you later.